Hey everybody, this is Monostable here and welcome to day 18 of the Redstone Advent Calendar. And today we're going to take a look at the Monostable circuit. A quick thing I want to say before we start this video is the Monostable is probably one of the most useful and most important things in Redstone. Without this circuit you pretty much can't do anything in Redstone. This video will consist out of two parts. First, I'm going to show you what a monostable circuit is, and after I will show you the most useful designs. So first, a monostable circuit is a circuit that converts a continuous signal into a shorter pulse. So that means, for example, if I flick this lever here on, the lamp will do a little blink, and if I turn it off, nothing will happen. There are three types of monostable circuits. First, the rising edge monostable circuit. He will create a pulse if the signal begins, like this. Then there is the falling edge monostable circuit. He will create a pulse if the signal ends. So if I turn it on, nothing will happen, and if I turn it off, we'll get our pulse. Then there is the dueling edge monostable circuit. The dueling edge monostable circuit gives a pulse on the activation, so the beginning of the signal, and on the deactivation where the signal stops. So that means if I power now this lever right here, we'll get a pulse, and if I turn it off, we'll get another pulse. I'm now going to show you multiple useful designs for all the three types. So here are the most useful rising edge monostable circuits. The first one is probably the most useful one and the most used one. It is the basic monostable circuit. It's amazing because it's super simple. This repeater will get powered. It will power this block right here, which will also power this piston from this repeater right here, and which will give output into this repeater. And after, the piston will extend and cut off the signal. So that means we'll get a short pulse in the back repeater. Another cool thing about this monostable is that it outputs a one-tick pulse. That means if you put a piston behind it, the piston will leave its block at the front. What's also pretty cool is, due to the fact that the repeater makes a signal longer if you input a signal that's smaller than its amount of ticks, which basically means if you give a 1-tick signal to a 4-tick repeater, he will output a 4-tick signal. That makes that this monostable can give very versatile signal length output. Design number 2 is the dropper-hopper monostable. This is a pretty cool design because it's very small and pretty simple. It basically uses a dropper that's getting powered that will put an item into the hopper on top of it. We will use a comparator to take the output of the hopper on top of it. So we'll get the pulse right here, like this. What's also pretty cool about this monostable is it can be arranged in multiple ways. For example, like this. What's pretty important at this monostable is, first, you don't have to forget to put this item into this dropper right here. And it only outputs signal strength 1. So that means if you put a piston, for example, 2 blocks away from this dropper-hopper monostable, you won't get the piston activate. So for the falling edge monostable circuits, a quick thing I want to say is you can easily convert every rising edge monostable circuit into a falling edge monostable circuit. For example, this simple design right here at the beginning, you can just turn it into a falling edge monostable by using a redstone torch at the beginning. So basically inverting the signal that will come into it. And that works with every monostable circuit. Also with this one, just every one. Another pretty cool design is this right here. This works because you power these repeaters. This will lock this repeater and at the same time will power this block right here. And if it unpowers, it will unpower these at the same time. And it will unlock the repeater and instantly stop the signal behind it, which means that it will give a short pulse at the front repeater. That's exactly 1 tick. And this is also one of these monostables that has a versatile pulse. That means you can make this repeater a longer delay and you will get a longer pulse. A dueling edge monostable circuit can be created by combining a rising edge monostable circuit and a falling edge monostable circuit. For example, like this. If we powered it, it will first activate this monostable circuit right here, which will give a pulse. And if the signal turns off, it will activate this monostable right here, like this. This is pretty cool, but these monostables will often get really big. So there are some very compact designs for dueling edge monostable circuits, like for example this design right here. If you power this torch will pulse, and on the falling edge it will pulse again. This design works because if you move a block, the block will turn into an entity, which means while the block is moving, it cannot power this redstone. That means if we move this redstone block, the signal will turn off, and as soon as the redstone block arrives at the front, the signal will turn on again, which will turn off this torch for a little while. This monostable is also a pretty cool design. It also creates a pulse on the rising edge and a pulse on the falling edge. And this works due to piston timings. Because if you power this block right here, this piston will start extending. In this time, this repeater will begin making its pulse. One tick after this block has been powered, we'll get a signal right here. Then 1.5 ticks after the block has been powered, so half a tick after this signal will begin, this block will arrive right here, which will cut off the signal right here, which means the signal will stop. On the falling edge, this piston will instantly start retracting, which means that instantly the signal can go back through there, and because there is a 1 tick repeater, the signal will instantly can go through again, and then after the repeater will turn off. I know this thing is pretty complicated, you don't have to fully understand how it works, but it's a pretty cool system. But that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching everybody, this has been Steve, and I'm going to see you tomorrow at day 19.